The title of the game is Say the Color, Not the Word. Basic education. Kasi makikita nila this motivation can be given at a higher level.
Si Mike.
Flexibility in the time, location, teaching, and other aspects of the learning process. Also a method where students are given the liberty to choose how, when, what, and where they want to learn.
They have a
very good kind of strategy teaching where accordingly less stress ng mga estudyante kasi very flexible. Okay, you study by the hours that you are conditioned with. Kasi minsan wala kang choice whether to study. And sometimes you are very, very tired. Sometimes you are bothered and working too. Minsan meron tayong mga personal issues, may mga love issues. So the flexible, maganda ito na flexible learning and teaching is something very good to lessen the stress of the learners and even the teachers. Continue.
So this is an example of flexible learning and teaching. So it is number one, alternative learning system. So example of alternative learning system. The ALS primarily uses learning modules for its learners. Modules contains learning activities and pre and post assessments. Modules for basic levels include a facilitator's guide, while modules for advanced levels are designed for self or independent learning. These are provided by the ALS teacher to the learners. Supplementary materials like text and non-text modules, self-learning instructional materials, learning activity package, online or digital modules, textbooks, modules, or blended technology learning materials from the home portals may also be used. So, if we say this alternative learning system is a substitute or alternative for the formal education or traditional education of the level. So it is open by the DepEd to everyone who wants to study again basic skills such as literacy and numeracy skills. So for those who are out of school youth or even though working Filipino citizens and also senior citizens. So pwede to kahit sino gusto continue and finish the elementary and secondary education. So baka example may nangyari sa kanila na family problems or financial problems, that's why they weren't able to finish their education or studies.
Okay, the alternative learning system ambassador is Manny Siya yan ang ambassador niyan. Siya ang nagpro-promote as far as the national chair or DepEd. Usually, ang sino enrolled dyan yung mga out of school youths. Pero din yung mga nag-work sa companies or mga kasambahay, helpers, and then they still wanted to study. So, who are graduates of Don Pablo Lorenzo High School?
Yes.
Yes, meron kami.
Yeah, meron na sila. Saturday, Sunday classes. Yes, and late afternoon classes. So yung mga makakagdag na, ano sa magbaso? So there are several schools na pala offers ALS.
So this
University of the Philippines.
It's the online program, Google Classroom, non-mass by instructor and students. So these are all mentioned. Open university system. So this offers online courses and degree programs with flexible scheduling. So maka-enroll ka dito or join online or having virtual classes. If kahit malayo ka nakatira or nasa ibang panig ka talaga, pero maka-enroll ka sa aming university that offer these courses. Online courses. So another example of flexible learning and teaching includes synchronous and asynchronous teaching. So we can read.
Asynchronous learning allows you to learn on your own schedule within a certain time frame. You can access and complete lectures, readings, homework, and other learning materials at any time during a 1 or 2 week period. Synchronous learning means that although you will be learning from a distance, you will virtually attend a class session each week at the same time as your instructor and classmates.
So thank you, Angel. So from the word asynchronous, it means that something does not take place at the same time or not simultaneous. So this asynchronous learning allows students to learn and study at their own pace with their own schedule. So for example, di ba, minsan kapag wala tayong class, ina-announce na ang ano natin,
time, no? Yung mga asynchronous, synchronous, blended, okay. So, please be very familiar with all these things because these are current strategies in teaching and learning processes. Okay, so let's listen right now to
Differentiated learning, also known as differentiated instruction, is a teaching approach that tailors instruction to meet the diverse needs, interests, and learning styles of all students, rather than a one-size-fits-all method.
Okay, so differentiated learning is a method that caters to the different learning styles, abilities, and needs of the student. So it is the complete opposite of one-size-fits-all. So yung one-size-fits-all is a curriculum or a method na gumagamit ng isang method only sa classroom kahit na iba't iba yung preferred learning styles ng mga students. So now, before principles of differentiated
The goal of the individual is first teaching is focused on student learn differently and not differently. Flexibility of choices, student have option for how they access, process, and demonstrate their learning.
Okay, so focus on individual needs. Us teachers need to know na in a classroom there are going to be varieties of students. So yung iba are slow learners, yung iba is fast learners. So we need to cater all of those. And next one is flexibility and choice. So students have options for how they assess, process, and demonstrate their learning. So we need to allow our students to tell us kung ano yung preferred learning styles nila, kung some of them are not good in writing essays, so we can maybe mag-activity na lang. Next, reading. Yeah. Our principles of differentiated learning. Ongoing assessment. Teachers continuously assess students with the ultimate aim to incorporate instruction and adjust their academic students. Their learning goals. While the learning goals remain the same for all students, the methods of instruction and assessment are varied to accommodate the right learning styles needs. Okay, so dito sa ongoing assessment, so after natin na-observe yung mga students natin na ito siya, marunong siya mag-essay, ito marunong siya mag-public speaking, so hindi dapat na-stop lang doon, we need to continuously assess them. So what is the second sem? Marunong na pala sila mag-public speaking. So as teachers, we need to continuously assess. So the next one is clear learning goals. So while learning goals remain the same for all students, the methods of instruction and assessment are varied to accommodate different learning styles and needs. So kahit na nag-give tayo ng different methods sa mga students natin, dapat the same pa rin yung goal nila. Next, okay.
Differentiated teaching acknowledges the students' different strengths and the teachers should provide strategies to reach one learning.
So, sino sa mga alam ng 9 multiple intelligence? 9 multiple intelligence. Verbal, linguistic, logical, mathematical, spatial, musical, bodily kinesthetic, interpersonal, intrapersonal, naturalist, at saka existential. Very good. So in a classroom, there are going to be students na magaling sa singing, sa dancing, yung iba naman magaling mag-song, and that doesn't mean na kapag magaling tayo mag-song, sila magaling mag-sing, ibig sabihin ng bobo tayo, no? Bobo sila. No, because there are multiple intelligences. So if you know how to sing, then siguro ano ka na rin, fit ka na rin sa getting intelligence. But sa musicality. So the next one is equity and access. So if we say equity, even though we give different levels ng method sa natin, sa mga students natin, dapat the same pa rin yung goal nila. So at the end of the day, dapat the same yung naging goal nila. So next. Differentiating content, teachers provide different materials or resources to students differentiate that between classroom versus year assignment, providing different levels of challenge for the same learning objective. Second, flexible grouping. Grouping students based on their interests, strengths, or learning needs. Lastly, choice boards, offering students a variety of activities to choose from.
Okay, so dito sa grade assignment, kung hindi grade, ito yung grade based on the level. So for example, hatiin natin yung classroom natin sila super magaling mag-essay, dito hindi magaling mag-essay. So dito, yung assignment na ibibigay natin is minimum of 100 words, maximum of 200 words. Tapos dito naman is like 50 lang, yun. So different yung ano nila, different yung level of learning nila. Pero the same na yung matutunan nila at the end. So sa flexible grouping naman, we need to let our students choose kung sino yung gusto nila maging first or yung peers nila because not all of the students wants to socialize with the people na hindi nila close. So sa choice boards naman, in a classroom, pwede tayo maglagay ng boards dyan. Like, for example, sa week na to, ano gusto ng students natin gawin? Like, mag-vote sila, like, for example, week of groupings, yung iba naman gusto nila road day, to make the classroom more inclusive. So next,
Okay, inclusive and engaging.
learning sessions, creating station in a classroom where students can engage in different activities.
That's very nice.
Technology integration, using technology to provide different learning experiences, personalized learning, tailoring instruction to meet the individual needs of each student.
Okay, so learning centers. So, pwede tayo maglagay ng like small space sa classroom natin. Like for example, dito is like merong small space na merong books for math. Dito naman is a room na super silent for those students na who likes to read. So, sa technology integration, pwede tayo, we can use technology to tell our students in area of study, pwede tayo pwede natin sila sabihin na they can use Gizmo, gano'n. So next is personalized learning. Tailoring instruction to meet the individual needs of each student. So that's learning.
Bakit kaya tawag education in emergencies?
Answer lang yan. So, what considers as an emergency? Emergency situations affecting education are defined as all situations in which man-made or natural disasters destroy within a short period of time the usual conditions of life, care, and education facilities for children and therefore disrupt, deny, hinder progress, or delay the realization of the right to education. Such situations can be caused by inter alia, armed conflicts, both international, including military occupation, and non-international, post-conflict situations, and all types of natural disasters. Next is, what is education in one is
What is education in emergencies? Education in emergencies provides learning opportunities for children and youth affected by crises like conflicts, natural disasters, and pandemics. It helps restore normalcy, safety, and hope for learners in unstable situations.
to say. As said, education in emergencies provides learning opportunities for children that need education during emergency situations. And it helps restore balance to the education, providing safety and care for the children. So why is education in emergency so important? And anyone who reads, Aleni.
Why is education emergency important? It prevents learning loss and keeps students engaged. It protects children from risks like child labor, recruitment into armed groups, and early marriage. It supports emotional and social well-being by creating a safe learning environment.
So thank you. As said, it helps prevent the loss of and keep students engaged for education. Also protect children from disasters and situations like child labor, recruitment into armed groups
like mga and early marriage. It also supports the social well-being of the children during this university.
Okay, sige. Magandang classmate yun. Very good ang materials din na. Okay, for students who are engaging to premarital sex, ang tendency talaga is the student gets pregnant. So that is where emergency education comes in. So that they will not be deprived. By the way, kung sabi ko yung mga kalalakihan at kababaihan dito, okay, for the girls, because our advocacy is on women, protection and welfare. Girls, always remember, I don't really mean that it will happen to you, baka it will happen to your friends, to your cousins, or perhaps okay, for girls, okay, the most disadvantage, no, among all the two gender or sex ang tawag natin dyan, no, pag a girl gets pregnant, sinong dehado dyan? Ang babae. Because she would be asked to stay home para save yung pregnancy niya. Kahit ngayon, if I would know that one of you is pregnant, I would really advise, alam mo, rest muna next semester, to take care of yourself, to let the baby grow well. Pero, yung sino nakabuntis sa inyo, baka ang classmate nyo nakabuntis. So, pwede ko lang sabihin doon sa lalaki na, ay, stay home ka muna. Kasi nakabuntis ka. I cannot do that. So, sinasabi natin, ang pinakadehado sa situation na yun ay ang
Babae.
So, that is where emergency education comes in. But again, I'm saying this, and I don't encourage you, listen, I don't encourage you to be engaging in premarital sex. Pero, kung ginagawa na yan, I advise you, stop mo na. And you may continue it tomorrow. Okay, you may I will not talk to you as little boys and little girls. Kasi ano lang na yan. Meron na lang tayong student, if I will see her. Pero dito sa kwaya ko, yung staff is pregnant. Last semester, I will be very honest with you.
You are nakikinig na
Hindi ko chisisa, this is reality. I have a student, I'll not mention her name. I noticed that she has irregular attendance. Every time nagpunta siya sa school, she seems to be very sick. Babae, sick talaga ang itsura niya. So because of her irregular attendance, I talked to her. I said, nagtanong muna ako, do you have a boyfriend? Yes po na. Tapos sabi ko, are you pregnant? Direct ako, hindi ko alam na sick. I'm pregnant na. See? So, sabi ko, what's your plan? Anyway, that was a month before the end of the first semester. Sabi ko, okay, you continue this semester. I will give consideration. I will right now, still pregnant at home and taking good care of herself. And I look forward to have her by next semester. At that time, nag-baby na siya. But, again, I don't encourage you to engage on this. Okay, kasi nag-delay yung time.
Safe daw sa akin.
Ano daw? Straight daw si ma'am.
Safe daw ang
Ang malaki naman.
So, continue job with this. Ang topic of job is very, very important.
So, sinasabi ni Mark, very important talaga na madidiscuss natin yung mga topics ng teenage pregnancy, especially sa sa emergencies. Because during emergencies, most of the time, ang mga children, they are in danger, ganyan ba? They do not have access to normal education and are forced to either by seeking education in facilities for emergencies. Next is, these are key features of education in emergencies. One is,
Access to safe learning spaces. School and learning centers must be secure and inclusive. Adapted teaching methods. Learning strategies should be flexible to emergency contexts. Psychosocial support. Education should help students cope with trauma and stress. Technically educated. All learners, including those with disabilities and from marginalized groups, must be included.
As said, dito, dapat mga features ng education in emergency, dapat meron tayong learning centers for the refugees or children in emergency situation. Dapat din ang teaching methods natin mag-adapt according to the diversity of learning of the children. And we also must provide support for their mental well-being. And we must include all children with various diversity, like their differences in learning style, gender, value, and disability. Next is how education in emergency is delivered.
How education in emergencies is delivered. The problematic centers set up shelters and community spaces. Remote digital learning uses radio, TV, and online platforms when schools are closed. Relevant is accelerated learning programs. Help students catch up on needs education. Number 4 is teacher training and support. It equips educators with the skills to teach in crisis situations.
So, thank you. So, these are actually important. Dapat meron tayong temporary learning center para makasik ang mga learners for education during in dire situation. Dapat meron din tayo other sources of learning centers like the usage of radio, TV, and online programming. And also, a great deliverance is accelerated learning program. These are great because students are able to catch up with lessons that they have missed during emergency situations. And teacher training and support equips educators with the skills to teach in crisis situations. Yes. That's it all.
Now, for the continuation of the discussion, so next, let's discuss about the foundational standards, which we will be discussing this for participation and resources, coordination and communication, assessing and planning, monitoring and evaluation. So first, both holistic and accountable to the people and communities it supports. These standards are considered foundational because they cover the key elements that should be present at all levels and in all types of education, programming, and all aspects of our response.
Sa implication ng sinabi sa binasa ni Axel, foundational standards are important in keeping the learners learn the right way, even during their hard times or their crisis. It is foundational because they are important in all situations. No matter what level of understanding the learners have, it also acts as a guide to every part of the response. Next, so first let's discuss the participation and resources. So, my
Sa likod.
participation and resources.
Next, sa likod.
Everyone in the community should have a chance to share ideas and help plan and engage in fun. Groups and individual groups, especially those who are often left out. Resources, try and use what the community already has, people, materials, etc. Work together to make the program sustainable. So yes, number one, participation and resources. Everyone in the community should have a chance to give ideas and help plan the education, including here are the students, parents, teachers, and leaders. It will be more accepted and supported by the community pag involved sila sa idea planning. Includes all groups, especially those who are unusually left out. So, meron na sa community, like mga persons with disability. So, or some other individuals na may special needs ganun. It will promote fairness to the community and you will be So, the next is resources. Identify and describe the community already has. So, minimin dito, para ma-address yung stress natin sa paggawa ng plan natin, let's consider the materials na meron na ang community na kung saan magamit natin in education planning. Next is
Sa likod.
Alina, number 2. So yes, working together. So the first point, set up your ways. Sinasabi dito, all groups should work together in an organized way. These groups like government office, NGOs, and others, school staff, ganun. Efforts are better organized and more efficient so that students and schools will be able to get what they need faster and more smoothly. So, share information naman sa second bullet is that they should share their plans and updates with each other more often so that they don't do the same thing over twice or many times. So that there will be no overlapping of work. So in result of using the resources wisely. Moving on, number 3, assessing and planning. That's the Nadira.
Assessment and planning. Assessment. Gather accurate information about individual needs and challenges in the crisis. Involve community members to get a full picture of the situation. Response. Use the assessment data to design strategies that meet the real needs of learners. Ensure the plans respect everyone's rights and are flexible enough to change when needed.
So this assessment and planning, they are connected to each other. So first point with the accurate information is that we must know what the learners needs, what the problems they face, and what resources are available after a crisis, like a disaster or a conflict. And so the next one is involve community members to get full picture of the situation. It indicates here that the people's right and dignity must be respected since it is part of the community. Sa response naman, use the assessment data to decide strategies. Yes, so from the data collected from the assessment, we must
use this to make smart plans that will truly help the students, the learners. The education plan must be based on facts rather than guesses. So it is a same plan. Moving on, monitoring and evaluation. The college
Monitoring. Regularly check how well education programs are working. Use feedback to implement evaluation. After implementation, review the impact of the programs. Learn from what worked, knowledge what did do, what did guide future.
So, sa monitoring, you must keep check what's happening in the program. Kailangan alamin natin kung is it working ba, and para malaman natin yung improvement tsaka yung weaknesses nito para mas mapabuti pa natin ang program. Evaluation naman, after it's done, let's consider the result. What went well, what needs improvement, and what needs improvement. We can learn from the lessons na nangyari na execute sa program din. And for future emergencies to so yun yung four principles na the next moving on, teaching and learning domain. So, wala pa. So, ito sa teaching and learning domain, may apat din tayo na discuss sa isa na. First, quality teaching in emergencies.
Use flexible thinking methods that gives emergency adapt lessons based on specific concepts and needs of the situation. Simple learning. Ensure every learner is included, regardless of their background or abilities. Create a safe, supportive classroom where everyone feels valued.
So, yun naman dali sa So, first, quality teaching in emergencies. Adaptable methods. So, flexible learning rate. We must use flexible ways of teaching depending on the emergency. Yes, and also, something na may mangyari sa community, dapat ang lesson natin ay madali lang ma-adjust based on the specific challenge na kailangan sa specific situation na yun. So, next one is inclusive learning. Ensure everything sa first point, ensure every learner is included. Sinasabi dito na every student must connect their lives to the lesson. In order for the lesson to be meaningful and also fun for them, create a safe supportive classroom where everyone feels valued. So it states here that we need to build a classroom where everyone feels safe, respected, and supported. And something is included is the something learning. So next is
Create a safe, supportive classroom where everyone feels valued. Okay. If you were watching news this morning or lumabas yan sa ating mga reels